We're preparing now wires.
What gauge is that?
8 gauge. 8 gauge is like usually minimum for discharge that we're using on those high powered bikes.
When I solder, me personally, I heat up the wire and then I put the solder onto the
How you heat
wire.
up the wire?
With the tip of the soldering iron.
Yeah, but this is thick ass wire.
So
It's not thin wire. When it's thin wire, I would touch it done. But this one you need to go all around. Very important. When you're soldering, when you wanna do this, you need to pre-solder this connector. Still, I like when it's hot connector to put this because it's easier to click in.
So what is up, guys and girls? I'm coming to you today from my house. Why? Because we're going to be talking about soldering, not just any connection, Anti Spark QS8 connector. And those connectors can be found at Powerful Lithium. For those of you that don't know, Powerful Lithium makes the best batteries out there on the market. Not only are they the best, they custom fit that battery to your e-bike. So no matter what it is that you're riding, you can reach out to them and have one made specifically for your ride. And if you want to save $100 off the purchase price of your battery, use my code Mr. E NYC. So many of you might not be close enough to have your battery installed by the guys over at Powerful Lithium. Now when you upgrade your battery, you just might have to change your connector. And that is what this video is all about. It's gonna be a how-to solder the QS8 Anti-Spark connector. So without any further ado, let's get into this one.
Anderson, so this is for the Onyx?
Yes, preparing dual discharge for fast driving controller for installation that we're just doing now.
I see only one positive and one negative. Helping hands?
Yeah, jig is always good to have. We're preparing now wires.
What gauge is that?
8 gauge. 8 gauge is like usually minimum for discharge that we're using on those high powered bikes. 8, 7, 6 depends. 6 I like thickness, but it's sometimes it's very stiff inside of the bike, you know, it's hard to manipulate. So even those wires that we're using, it's all of them, they silicone wires.
Right. Yeah, it's, you said 8 gauge, right? But it's still super fat.
Yes, it is.
And on top of that, you said dual, right? So you're gonna have two of these.
Yes, correct. So what I'm doing now, I'm pre-soldering this part. You need to have really good solder for this kind of job. I've been seeing a lot of people, they trying to do something like this. Even some people, they selling those cables like fuse delete kits or something like that. I'm not meaning about shops that they selling. Some people like in houses, they making them and they trying to sell. You know, it's fine, but do it right, because a lot of current going through that. That's why I need to be good solder. If you can't make that, don't even do, because that can catch fire. So it's very important to have good contact. Right. Preparing red wire now.
Okay, so black wire is done?
Black wire is just pre-soldered.
Okay.
Pre-solder helping us to solder easier. Waiting the solder to heat up. Now it's good. Don't do too thick this. You need to do a little bit just to stick around the wires. Because if you do too thick, it's not gonna be good.
I'll probably cut this part out. When I solder, me personally, I heat up the wire and then I put the solder onto the.
How you heat up the wire?
With the tip of the soldering iron.
Yeah, but this is thick ass wire.
So
it's not thin wire. When it's thin wire, I would touch it done. But this one you need to go all around.
Right.
because it's thick wire.
All right. So I
You
know
can't do like this, like
right,
hold it
right.
here.
And then come from the other side.
No,
It doesn't
no.
Okay.
When you have all over, then now I will be able to heat up because I did all walls around. I did that already. So now, let's say if I hold here, it's gonna heat whole thing, and now I can maybe melt more solder in the middle. But look, now works that part. Now, before no, because it's super thick. Yeah, it can. So very important part. When you have those two connectors,
yes.
when you have to solder any of them, use opposite side. Why? Because if you overheat, let's say we're doing now male, if you overheat this plastic around can melt, first thing. The other thing, this can be crooked. And then third thing is gonna lost, it can lost anti-spark, especially on this part, because this part is anti-spark. So it's very important to have opposite side. What we're getting with this opposite side, we're getting heat, so it's not gonna melt everything, and then also keeps those connectors straight.
Gotcha.
Even if we melt a little bit more, it's gonna keep straight everything. That's why it's very important to have opposite side. No matter which one we're soldering, it's good to have opposite side connector. That's like a trick how to do that. So now another thing very important when you're soldering, when you want to do this, you need to pre-solder this connector. How I do that, I melt a little bit, and this solder has a paste also to help us to solder. Okay, you see what I'm doing now? Spreading around. And also you have to do those edges a little bit. You see this edge, this edge.
Nice. Why do you do the edges?
You will see now when we put wire. Also, I flip this, I do inside as well, because we want to have prepared connector completely.
Nice.
Because you better prepare this, it's easier later on to do wire thing. You see, so all over the place we have wire, we have a solder wire melted already to the connector.
Looks like paint.
Yes, that's very important. So now we're gonna do the other side also. Prep. This is negative side. Same thing, wait a little bit to heat up. Now melting and spreading around on all those walls. That's what we want to have, and we need to add a little bit more solder wire. Same thing. And also you don't want to put too much. You see how nice is this inside?
Like paint.
Yes, and then you don't want to have solder around here. This part need to be clean, because if you have drop of solder here, it can create short circuit. That's definitely something that we don't want to have. So this is minus side, negative side. Let's do with the wire.
Let me see your wire, because that looks really good.
It's not too crazy. I just pre-soldered a little bit. And now we're gonna put this wire there. Put our solder tip down, and then we're melting. But you don't wanna melt too much. You need to make sure first that wire is hot around, that connector is reach correct temperature. Keep in mind that solder wire melting on 260 Celsius. So you need to reach 260 Celsius in a wire and around connector. But also you don't want to do that for too long, because you're gonna damage connector. You see? And look. Let's see what we did. You see how everything is inside? You see those edges?
Yes.
They look like one piece with the wire. That's why I do edges. And you see now on the bottom,
It's clean.
clean, no drops, no nothing. And this is proper soldered wire. So let's do positive side now. But again, for good solder, you need to have good solder station. You can't do that with Amazon thing, 30-50 bucks. No. Now we're doing positive side. Same thing. Inside is wire. And now we're starting to melt a little bit wire, because when we melt wire inside, wire helping us to melt solder, helping us to spread heat all around the connector. Okay, you see, starting, and then I like to put my this tip here from solder iron. I like to put on the sides a little bit to heat enough. You see, sides is already melted, and now we have to fill up this part here. This part. Check again. One solid piece now. You see? Clean, solid piece.
She's not going anywhere.
Nowhere.
Now you get
And then what I like, because this is sometimes hard to click in, especially if someone doing messy work, and then they have all over the solder. We don't have in this case, but still I like when it's hot connector to put this, because it's easier to click in.
When it's still hot?
Yes, when it's still hot. So I try always to do that like right away. Look how it's gonna be easy now. Look this, done. That's it. Yes, you heard the click, and look this. Now we pull this, and this is hot. It's not too hot, but it's hot because it dissipates heat from this connector.
That's good. That's good.
And this connector is properly.
cooling.
Yes, this connector is now properly soldered.
Yes, it is. All right. So now you do what on this end? The
we will do
O-rings?
lugs, but I need to do one more connector. So take a break from me now.
I'm gonna go visit Sounds.
So there you have it. I'm hoping that after watching this video, you guys might feel a little bit more confident when it comes to soldering that connector. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate. Smash that like button. Leave a comment. I get back to everybody. And if you want to, please subscribe. So until the next video, peace out, everybody. Cables are done. What about you, Sounds? Are you done?
Nope, not yet. Still got a little bit left for me. Still got a little bit left.
It's looking good.